This is suiteHEART's general viewer. I like to think of it kind of like a table of contents because it gives you an overview of the examination. For instance, here you can see a bunch of small thumbnails showing the images in the order in which they were acquired. You can see some scout images, some images through the aortic valve, some functional short axis images, as well as some long axis images. You can see some T2 star images, and if I scroll down, you can see some late gadolinium enhanced images. You're not restricted to looking at all of the images in the examination. For instance, I could select just one series, for instance, to look at the short axis images, or I could look at the aortic valve images, or if I hold the control key down, I could choose to look at both at the same time. Whatever I select on the left column will appear on the right side. And if I hit Control A, it will go back and load all the images again. Now I'd like to introduce you to some basic functionality of this viewer. You don't need to look at all of the images simultaneously with small thumbnails. I could, for instance, select a single image right here, or I could select an entire series of short axis images, which you see here. Or if I hold the control key down from this list, I can add other series to display side by side. So you can see I've chosen now to add some aortic valve images and some long axis images. Now I also can put some images in some of these viewports here, for instance, to act as cross-reference images. So now you can see when I click on a particular image and it's highlighted where the cross-reference would be in these other images. Now there's some basic functionality that we have in order to be able to view the images. You can use your middle mouse button to control how they're displayed. Let me show you an example. If you select the right mouse button, it will show you that the middle mouse button will act to change the window and level. So if I use the middle mouse button now, you can see the images are changing window and level. If I select instead the second feature here, you'll see now I can pan and zoom the images. And the third feature here is to change the magnification of the images. And the next feature here is to actually rotate the images. And I can do that either for all of the images in a series, or I could change the scope to allow me to just rotate one at a time. Now you don't need to use the right mouse button to change the functionality of the middle mouse button. There are some shortcut keys which you can find here under the Help menu if you choose Quick Keys, and here it will show you some shortcuts that will allow you to move much faster through the viewing process. Another nice feature that we have is the ability to place a cursor on the image and see where it is on other images. Here, if I click on the cursor and I go ahead and place it here on the image, and I then move it around, you can see where this spot is on some of these other images here on the two-chamber view images. Let me show you how this feature is even more powerful. I'm going to shut off the cursor, and I'm going to come over here and select all of the images to be displayed. And one of the nice things that you can do is now, if you hold the control key down and select this cursor and place it someplace, what will happen is suiteHEART will selectively display only those images that have that particular location in them. So you can see here that I had selected this image here in the liver, and now it only shows me the other images in the examination that have that same location. This is a great time-saving feature because it brings up only those images that have that location. One final useful feature I'd like to show you is how this viewer can be used to look at an entire exam, including the extracardiac structures. So again, I'm going to come over here and select with Control A all the images to be displayed. And I'm going to scroll up here to the top, and I'm going to choose, let's say, the first series, which are a bunch of sagittal images. I'm going to make sure we display them in a 1x1 format. And then we have a quick key, Control F, which will allow the entire full field of view to be displayed. And then what I can do is I can page through these images, and I can page through these images until I come to the next series. And then if I click on the arrow key, I can advance to the next series and page through the images. And then when I've looked at all of those images, I can click on the arrow key. And in movies, I can just keep clicking on the arrow key. And I can go through the entire exam by using the arrow key, or for the static images, the page down key. So you can see very quickly I can literally look at the full field of view of all of the images in the examination, and that can save me time. I hope this quick introduction to suiteHEART's General Viewer has been helpful.